The Bayfront redevelopment tender was the contract of the decade, and I was the frontrunner. But on the day of the presentation, my rival, the massive Sterling Corp., suddenly accused me of plagiarizing their proposal. Just because Sterling was a legacy giant, the board immediately assumed I had used underhanded means to steal their intellectual property. I refused to give up, demanding an audit, only to discover that our proposals were identical down to the punctuation. The only difference? They had submitted theirs 12 hours before me. With the evidence seemingly irrefutable, I wasn't just disqualified. My investors pulled their funding instantly. The company's cash flow snapped, my girlfriend walked out on me, and employees were banging on my door demanding severance. In the chaos, someone shoved me. I tumbled over the railing of the high-rise atrium, felt a sickening crunch, and then the lights went out. When I opened my eyes, I was staring at a half-finished proposal in my hands, a cold sweat drenching my back. I sat paralyzed in my office, staring blankly at the screen. Wasn't this the Bayfront document that had ruined my life? How was I back here? In my past life, I had burned the midnight oil for 2 weeks straight to perfect this bid. But when I walked into that meeting room brimming with confidence, I was told my work was stolen. Every chart, every projection was my blood, sweat, and tears. How could it be plagiarism? They didn't listen. Hunter Sterling, the heir to the empire, had watched coldly from the side. His parting shot haunted me. A thief can copy the work, but he can never be the artist. That sentence had pushed me into the abyss. Later, I learned Hunter had submitted an identical file half a day early. But how? I had barely slept for a month, let alone had time to hack Sterling Corp. Yet, the files were twins. I couldn't argue then. The compliance officer had sneered. Plagiarism is shameful enough without you acting self-righteous about it. If you know what's good for you, you'll leave. Push this, and you're looking at prison time. I snapped back to the present and closed my eyes. This document, my masterpiece, was the weapon that killed me. I had to figure this out. Was it really a coincidence? Impossible. Someone was playing dirty. Although I had submitted at the deadline last time, my creation timeline was earlier. I had finished that morning and crashed in the break room for 3 hours before heading to the submission office. That 3-hour window was the only vulnerability. But I was alone, door locked. Was Hunter Sterling a magician? How did he steal a file I had just finished without leaving a trace? I scoured my computer and printer. I always wiped the cache. I was the sole author. I hadn't even let my girlfriend, Elena, touch my laptop. So where was the leak? I couldn't find a single hole in my security. Frustrated, I decided to change the game. I transferred every file related to the bid onto an encrypted drive and wiped the office machines. I would work from home. Let's see if they could copy me through the air gap. With the memory of my past life, my work was faster. Within 3 days, I was mostly done. I still had a week before the deadline. I stretched, ready to take a walk and clear my head. But when I opened social media, a post from Hunter Sterling stopped me cold. It was a vague post on X. Some amateurs never learn. You can steal the blueprint, but you can't build the empire. The words triggered a flashback. I looked at the image attached to his post. The document on his screen was blurred, but the word count and page layout in the corner were identical to mine. A chill ran down my spine, and a strange, tightening numbness gripped the back of my skull. Had Hunter been copying me from the very start? I looked back at my laptop. It hadn't left my sight. When did he steal it? Panic rising, I scrolled through the comments. A mutual acquaintance asked, "Who's got the nerve to copy the Sterlings?" Hunter replied, "Just a tiny startup. A couple of kittens thinking they can hunt with lions." Everyone knew who he meant. Few companies qualified for the Bayfront tender. Most were conglomerates. The only startup in the running was my company, Apex Innovations. The comments below were already naming names. Apex. Is Caleb Reed out of his mind, trying to rip off Sterling Corp? Sterling has deep pockets. If a small fry copies them, they'll sue him into oblivion. Funny, I remember Caleb is just some state school grad with no connections, just coding skills. Looks like he finally ran out of talent. Call the cops. Teach the kid a lesson. The comments were brutal, assuming my guilt. I closed the app, baffled. In my last life, I thought there was a physical leak. This time, I was hiding in my apartment, yet he still had my data. I scratched my head, the numbness at the base of my skull intensifying. Who was watching me? I hired a sweeper team to check my apartment for bugs. Nothing. I took my laptop to a specialist. Device is clean. Caleb, the text said, looking at me like I was paranoid. No malware, no spyware. If you're that worried, I can disconnect the camera physically. No, it's fine. I muttered, leaving. On the drive home, I did the math. Hunter was confident. He already had my bid. Even if I submitted now, he'd beat me to the punch. If I went through with this, history would repeat itself. I had to weigh the risks. Winning this bid would make Apex a unicorn, but the price was making an enemy of the establishment. In my past life, I was fearless. Now, I suspected a dark undercurrent. I liked money, but I liked living more. Skipping this bid meant losing a fortune, but it meant keeping my life. I'm pulling the plug, I whispered to the empty room. I dragged the unfinished bid to the recycle bin and shut down the computer. I needed to lay low and investigate. For the next 2 days, I went to the office, acting normal, watching my employees, the ones who had turned on me last time. They seemed innocent. On the third day, Elena, who was supposed to be in New York for an internship, showed up at my office. She barged in, saw my dark screen, and her face fell. "Caleb, I thought you were prepping for the Bayfront bid. Deadline is approaching. Why aren't you panicking?" In my previous life, after the plagiarism scandal destroyed me, I was buried in debt. I broke up with Elena Cross because I couldn't provide for her. She offered some hollow words of pity and walked away without looking back. It had always felt off. But since she rarely came to the office, I hadn't suspected her of the theft. I wanted to believe she was innocent. I forced a smile. "Elena, what are you doing back?" She rushed over, eyeing my powered-down laptop. "Caleb, you told me you were working on the Bayfront tender. Why is everything off?" Her urgency triggered an alarm in my gut. Was she involved? I kept my expression flat. "Hit a wall. I'm scrapping it." Her voice pitched up an octave. "How can you just quit?" I narrowed my eyes, realizing she was coming on too strong. She softened her tone. "I just know how much you put into this. You were almost done. Why give up at the finish line? You're not a quitter, Caleb." She looked righteous. "I am disappointed. This isn't the man I know." Looking at her now, I was certain she was the link, but I couldn't tip my hand yet. I feigned defeat. "The pressure is just too much. Competing against giants like Sterling? I don't think I can win. I'm afraid of humiliating myself." She visibly relaxed, sitting beside me and rubbing my shoulder. "Don't be scared. Losing isn't shameful. Those trust fund kids start at the finish line. You're amazing just for being in the race." Her words were sweet poison. If I hadn't lived through the betrayal once, I would have believed her. I wiped a fake tear. "You really think I should do it?" She nodded vigorously. "Yes, you have to. Prove yourself." "Okay, for you." I pretended to find my resolve. In reality, my mind was racing. Elena was feeding intel to Hunter Sterling. Somehow, they were mirroring my work in real time. When I stopped, they stalled. I had stopped a week before the deadline, and after only 2 days of silence, Hunter had sent Elena to jumpstart me. That meant they needed me to finish it so they could steal the final version. It was a trap, but it sparked a dark fire in me. Elena knew this would ruin me. She knew it would destroy everything I built, maybe even kill me. Yet she chose Hunter. I wouldn't let her get away with it. For the next 4 days, I stayed home, working until the final second. I submitted the bid with minutes to spare. The clerk raised an eyebrow. 2 companies cutting it this close this year? I smiled. I can't speak for others, but I'm just slow. Just here to participate. I walked out, catching a glimpse of a familiar silhouette slipping around a corner. Elena. The day of the presentation arrived. Elena took a personal day to fly back and support me, just like last time. She wore a designer dress, holding flowers, beaming, confident. "I did my best," I said neutrally. "I believe in you." I smiled and pulled a velvet box from my pocket. "I got you something. I noticed you were missing a brooch for that outfit. Dropped 10 grand on it. Some rare stone, I forget the name." Her eyes lit up at the price tag. She opened it to find a large, aquamarine brooch. "Oh my God. Thank you, babe." I pinned on her chest myself. "You gave me the courage to finish. If I win, there's a huge bonus in it for you." "Of course," she said, her tone suddenly dismissive. She assumed I was walking to my doom. I sat down. Elena kept scanning the room. Suddenly, a hush fell. "The Sterlings are here." Hunter Sterling walked in with his entourage, arrogant as a king. He nodded to the room, but when his eyes landed on me, he sneered. It was so obvious that whispers started immediately. "Is that the guy who ripped off Hunter?" "Yeah. Hunter called him out on X. Can't believe he showed up." I ignored them. Elena was staring at Hunter with a longing that made me sick. The presentations began. Finally, Sterling Corp. Hunter walked past me, muttering copycat. I watched, heart pounding. Was it the same? Hunter opened his slide deck. The data hit the screen, and I went cold. It was mine, exactly as I had designed it. They had stolen it again, through whatever invisible method they used. Elena smirked, barely hiding it. Hunter presented with unearned confidence. One of the judges frowned. "Mr. Sterling, this budget seems aggressive for a firm of your size. Are you sure?" Hunter tapped his chest. "Absolutely. My actuaries have triple-checked it. We can deliver. All right. Next up, Apex Innovations." The room turned to me. Elena's eyes held a mix of mockery and anticipation. Hunter mouthed, "Thief. Caleb Reed? You're up," the moderator said impatiently. "Go on, Caleb," Elena whispered. "Don't freeze." Someone laughed in the back. "What's the point?" Sterling went first. "He can't present the same slides now." The moderator glared. "Accusations of plagiarism are serious. Until proven, silence." Clearly, the moderator had seen Hunter's tweets. I composed myself, walked to the podium, and plugged in my drive. The screen flickered to life. The audience gasped. It was blank. A white screen. No text. No numbers. The moderator frowned deeply. "Apex Innovations. What is this? Where is your proposal?" I smiled. "This is my submission. Are you wasting our time? Get down." The moderator was furious. He had defended me a moment ago, and now I look like a clown. I grinned, looking directly at Hunter. "My conscience is clear. Some things don't need explanation. Caleb Reed, don't play dirty games." I'd ask certain people to stop projecting their own lack of integrity onto me. Silence gripped the room. The subtext was a sledgehammer aimed at Hunter. Hunter laughed, a harsh sound. "Running out of tricks? Standing there, talking big won't save you. Disrupting this meeting can get you blacklisted, you know." I shrugged, pulled my drive, and walked out. I had done what I came to do. Elena stood frozen, watching me leave. She didn't follow. A week later, the results were announced. Sterling Corp won. The organizers favored the legacy firm, especially with the miracle price Hunter had quoted. What they didn't know, what Hunter didn't know, was that the proposal he stole was a Trojan horse. I'm a data guy. When I realized I was being watched by something I couldn't see, I attacked the data. I had sabotaged the budget. I left out critical infrastructure costs that an external actuary wouldn't catch unless they built the model themselves. "Hunter, catch this." I sat in my apartment, adjusting the frequency on my laptop. Static hissed, then a voice cut through. "You did good, babe. How much do you want?" It was Hunter. The brooch I gave Elena was a high-end listening device. "Oh, stop." Elena's voice was sugary. "I don't need money to help you." "I like that," Hunter purred. "You're smart. Dump that loser and come to me." You know why he submitted a blank slide? He saw my deck and got scared. He knew he couldn't beat the original. "When this Bayfront deal closes, I'll be the undisputed heir. We'll be royalty." Elena giggled. "What about the thing you put on him?" "Thing?" I froze. Hunter laughed darkly. "Let him keep it. Let eat him. Until he dies." A chill went through my marrow. "Thing?" A sharp, needle-like pain stabbed the base of my skull. The same sensation I'd felt for a month. I thought it was stress. It was a hex. I didn't listen to the rest. I grabbed my phone and dialed Jax. Jax and I grew up in the same foster neighborhood. While I went into tech, he was recruited by an eccentric urban shaman type. He ran a sanctuary now, a mix of Taoist mysticism and modern spirituality. He was legitimate. "Caleb, why are you calling?" "I just finished meditation." "Help me." I gritted out. "I've been hexed." "What?" "Describe it." "Pain. Base of skull. Bad luck. Paranoia." The line went silent. Then I heard heavy breathing. "Caleb? Caleb." I blacked out. The last thing I heard was a strange whine through the phone. When I came to, the heaviness was lighter. "You there?" Jax's voice was serious. "You've got a parasite attached to your aura. Send me your address." "I'm coming." 6 hours later, Jax arrived. He wore casual clothes, but carried a massive hiking pack that jingled. He looked like a grad student, but his eyes were ancient. "I thought you wore ceremonial robes?" I asked, trying to joke. "Those are for the tourists. You haven't died yet. Where is it?" As he stepped in, a high-pitched whine, audible only to my inner ear, screamed in the apartment. The pain spiked. Jax slapped a talisman, a yellow sticky note with red ink, onto my shoulder. "Ouch." "Quiet. It worked." The pain vanished. "What is this thing?" "You've got a binder spirit. Nasty stuff. Usually anchored to an object. Did anyone give you a gift recently? A statue? A doll?" "Elena. 2 months ago. She brought back a limited edition art toy from her trip. A ceramic figure of a stylized child. For our future family," she had said. I pointed to the shelf. Jax frowned. "That thing is radiating miasma. Are you blind?" "I'm a coder, Jax. Not a wizard." Jax unpacked his gear. A copper mirror, a peach wood sword, and a brass scale. He arranged them around the ceramic doll. The room temperature dropped 10 degrees. The doll began to vibrate. Jax chanted something in a language I didn't recognize, stomping a pattern on the floor while sprinkling a red liquid. Finally, he shouted, "Break!" The ceramic doll shattered down the middle. A black mist screamed out and dissolved. "Is it dead?" I whispered. "Banished," Jax said, wiping sweat. It's gone back to whoever sent it. That thing was siphoning your mental energy and your data. It acted like a psychic bridge. That's how they copied you. He handed me a folded paper, triangle sealed in plastic. Keep this in your pocket. Don't get it wet. Nothing can latch onto you with this. Jack said. So, where does the spirit go now? Back to the cinder, Jack smirked. Karma's a boomerang. They're gonna have a very bad week. Jax, you saved my life. Don't get mushy. Just donate to the sanctuary. The West Wing roof is leaking. Done. 20 grand. Make it 50. I transferred the money. Jax left with a grin. Now it was my turn. Minutes after Jax left, Elena called. Caleb, why did you submit a blank bid? You embarrassed yourself and me. I laughed coldly. Did I? I thought that's exactly what you wanted. What does that mean? I flew back to support you. Cut the crap, Elena. Tell me why Hunter's bid was identical to my draft. Explain how he copied a file from a laptop that never went online. Unless the person sitting next to me was the leak. Her voice wavered. You're paranoid. You're crazy. Am I? Ask yourself if I'm crazy or if you're just a liar. I think you need to cool off, she stammered. Don't call me until you're sane. She hung up. We both knew it was over. I went back to work. With the Hex gone, my mind was razor sharp. I landed 3 small contracts in a week. Enough to keep the lights on. Then the bomb dropped. Sterling Corp had started phase 2 of the Bayfront project. Rumors began circulating that they were out of money. They had requested an emergency budget increase from the city. But the city had already granted a massive budget. $2 billion. Requesting more this early was insane. News broke that the city officials had torn the Sterling reps apart in a closed-door meeting. This is a fixed-price contract. You claimed your actuaries verified the data. If you lowballed to win the bid, that's your problem. If Sterling can't finish withdraw, we'll sue for breach of contract. The industry gossip was vicious. Sterling Corp is acting like amateurs. How did Hunter screw this up? Remember when he called Apex a thief? Turns out Apex submitted a blank slate. He copied a ghost. I heard Caleb Reed deliberately sabotage the file because he knew it would be stolen. He left a poison pill in the budget. Hunter is going to lose nearly $1 billion. His dad is going to kill him. I checked my social media. Hunter had gone silent. At Sterling HQ, Hunter was smashing his office. How did you miss this? I pay you idiots millions, he screamed at his team. Why do we need another $1 billion? Sir, the lead engineer stammered. The proposal. It didn't account for the subsea reinforcements for the bridge. It was completely omitted from the data you gave us. That alone is $400 million. Why didn't you catch it? You told us not to change a single digit of the master plan. Hunter swiped his desk clear, glass shattering everywhere. Get Elena Cross in here. Now, he had trusted Elena's intel. He thought he was stealing genius. He had stolen a bomb. Elena entered trembling. Hunter, you set me up. Hunter roared. Your boyfriend's plan was a trap. I'm losing $800 million. Do you have $800 million, Elena? I didn't know. Useless. He hurled a heavy crystal ashtray. It struck her forehead. Blood streamed down her face. She screamed. Get out. Go fix this. Make him give you the real numbers, or I'll bury you. Elena stumbled out, bleeding. She came to my office an hour later, bandaged, looking like a ghost. Her eyes were full of hate. You did this on purpose. I looked up from my desk, feigning innocence. Did what? You wrote a faulty bid. You knew we were watching. You trapped us. I leaned back. Elena, what are you talking about? My bid was blank. The whole city saw it. I submitted nothing. Stop lying. You wrote the fake one for us to steal. Who is US? I asked calmly. Are you admitting you and Hunter stole my intellectual property? Yes. We copied it. But you provided false data. That's fraud. You cost us $800 million. We'll sue you. I laughed out loud. The audacity was breathtaking. Go ahead. Tell the judge you stole my draft. But you're mad because the draft wasn't perfect. Give me the real numbers. Now, she screamed. Hunter will kill me. He can make people disappear. Caleb. I stopped laughing. Elena, tell me about the doll. The Hex. She froze. The color drained from her face. Did you know there was a spirit in that doll? Her eyes darted around. I don't know what you mean. You do. You knew it would drain me. You knew it might kill me. And you did it for a purse and a ride in a Porsche. Shut up. Give me the data. Get out. I shoved her into the hallway and locked the door. She pounded on the glass for 10 minutes before security dragged her away. I calmly uploaded the security footage of our conversation, along with the audio from the brooch. I edited out the Hex talk to keep it grounded. The internet exploded. Wait, so Sterling admitted to corporate espionage. Hunter Sterling is the thief, and he's mad the stolen goods were defective. El Mayo, Karma is real. 800 million loss. Sterling Corp stock is tanking. Hunter saw the video. He tried to scrub the internet, but it was too late. His reputation was incinerated. Elena, you idiot. Hunter screamed at his phone. You admitted it on camera? Hunter's father, the chairman, had a minor stroke from stress. But the project had to continue. Abandoning it meant losing the initial billion. Continuing meant eating the loss. They were trapped. Hunter was banished to the construction site, stripped of his executive powers. But Hunter was a spoiled brat. He couldn't handle the humiliation. He blamed me. He hired thugs to find me, but I was already staying at Jax's sanctuary in the mountains, out of reach. Bored and raging at the construction site, Hunter decided to take out his anger on the earth. Drunk, he hopped into a massive excavator. I'll show them how to dig. He slammed the bucket into the ground, tearing through a marked warning zone. He severed a major trunk line, a secure fiber optic cable used by the Department of Defense. Within 20 minutes, black SUVs swarmed the site. FBI, Homeland Security, destroying critical defense infrastructure is a federal felony. Hunter was dragged out of the cab in handcuffs, screaming, "Do you know who my father is?" The feds didn't care. He got hit with federal charges. His family paid a fortune in legal fees, but he still got 30 months in federal prison. As for the hired muscle he sent after me, they were caught lurking near the sanctuary by local police. Under interrogation, they rolled on Hunter to cut a deal. They also confessed to taking care of Elena Cross. She had been taken out of the country to a safe house in Southeast Asia to avoid testifying. She was never heard from again. Sterling Corp collapsed from the financial strain, and the scandal delisted from the stock exchange. When the dust settled, I said goodbye to Jax and returned to the city. Apex Innovation soared, picking up the pieces Sterling left behind. We went public a year later. I stood on the balcony of my new office, looking at the city lights. I had survived death, magic, and greed. And I had won. Story complete.